stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leave him raised like Simba, or cracked like the Beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Here we have The Spirit of Mickey, which is an ominous title. Like, is he a ghost? Anyways, I'm pumped for this. On the back of the VHS, it's a proof of purchase. It's 5 Mickey bonus points stamp if you cut it out. Remember those days? Okay, there's a few compilations in this VHS bin that I've watched and haven't reviewed and posted yet, but I'm slowly becoming addicted to these old cartoons. There's something historical about the unapologetic violence. Right out of the gates, we get an ad for the black sheep of the Disney collection, Black Cauldron. That sets the table. This VHS is not messing around today. There's a Seinfeld bass slap intro, sweet montage of classic Mickey Mouse. I'm talking from like the 20s or 30s or whenever he's created it up. It's crazy when you're nostalgic for something you've never seen. I haven't seen any of these cartoons that they're taking clips from. However, they instantly demand and earn my respect. All the characters are standing on stage. Mickey comes out and asks which cartoon we should show first. Goofy says, how about band concert? And that was Mickey's first color cartoon ever. I'm like going to Disney college today. Mickey is dressed like someone on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's album. He's busy conducting and Donald comes by yelling and selling hot dogs. Donald grabs a flute and joins in. He's good, but Mickey snatches the flute away and breaks it. Donald keeps getting it back or getting a new one, and Mickey continues to smash them right in front of Donald's face. Like, this is crazy. I'm watching a Mickey Mouse cartoon where Mickey is the bad guy and Donald is the good guy. If only these characters could have seen the future. Mickey gets ice cream thrown down his back, and as he does that arch you do when something cold runs down your back and the band starts playing something completely different. That's a pretty funny gag. There's old-timey Goofy, and he's flirting with old-timey Clarabelle. A dark tornado comes and sucks everything up in its path. The audience scatters, the table and chairs come alive and run away as well. The band itself gets sucked into the tornado, but they continue playing, and that's a pretty titanic of an idea. Blew that one. Fade to black. Back on stage, Minnie calls him handsome. We transition into the next short. It's called Into the Mirror. I'm addicted to old-timey Mickey. Like, I'm watching Mickey Mouse, but all bets are off. He's asleep and his asleep self pops out of his sleeping body and enters the mirror now. He just walks through his living room and the chair and the coat rack come to life and attack him. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. There's no rules to these old cartoons. Because of the watered down cartoons of the last 2 decades, I've been programmed to like expect these to follow some sort of linear narrative where a lesson is learned at the end. But here, his stereo just comes to life. Mickey is jumping rope with a telephone, and now he's dancing on an ashtray, people. An ashtray. No rules. Right now, Mickey is 2.5 inches tall and he's dancing with matchbooks on an ashtray. Like, any second, a sea lion could come out of a houseplant and try to kill Mickey with a knife made out of orphans. You don't know back then. You never know. Anything can happen. He's dancing with a deck of cards now. Oh man. He's also dancing with the Queen of Hearts card, and the Joker rats him out to the King of Hearts card. And snitches usually get stitches, but now Mickey is fencing the King of Hearts card. And while this is great stuff, we should probably pay respect to the only King of Hearts that's ever mattered. Remember how the last segment was the first time the world would have seen an animated Mickey in red? That's mind-blowing. Everything wants to kill Mickey, so he jumps back through the mirror and re-inhabits Mickey's sleeping body. I originally had written, he goes back through the mirror and enters Mickey while he's asleep, but there's definitely a better way of conveying that. Back on stage, Goofy asks, oh, isn't there something special about this next cartoon, Mickey? Terrible Goofy. Nonchalantly, Mickey answers, well, it did win an Oscar. What? Okay, lend a paw. A kitty is following Pluto. Pluto doesn't like that. Mickey takes a liking to the cat. Pluto has a devil and an angel Pluto on his shoulders, and I think my next tattoo is going to be freaky green-skinned Frankenstein Devil Pluto. Devil Pluto convinces him to keep getting the cat in trouble. One of their plans goes awry, and Pluto gets busted. Devil tells Pluto, hey, stupid, scram! but Pluto gets caught and tossed out in the snow. Mickey's happily inside reading the paper, enjoying the cat's company. He's just over Pluto, just like that. He literally tossed Pluto into the streets. Then the kitten comes outside and falls down a well, inspiring Jessica McClure. Angel Pluto tells him to save Kitty. Devil Pluto says no. Real Pluto listens to Devil Pluto, so Angel Pluto takes off his halo, his wings, rolls up his sleeves, and punches that mother out. Devil Pluto disappears and real Pluto saves Kitty, which makes Mickey happy, and then Kitty kisses Pluto. Angel Pluto tells us that anyone who's nice to animals will be rewarded. Back to the stage. Daisy cues up the next one. Orphan picnic. Mickey has a dump truck full of orphans. There is something so weirdly safe about finding amusement and how normal this was back in the day. Mickey tips at the back of the dump truck and all the orphans spill out. They're all mini Mickeys. Donald is trying to bring some sort of order but can't. The orphans blindfold Mickey and take turns sneaking up behind him and kicking him in the butt as he stumbles around. They give Donald a peace flower. He sniffs it and there's a bee in it that stings him on his beak. Now they retreat back. The bee retreats back into his hive. Donald says, oh yeah, and throws a rock at the hive. It explodes. Bees are chasing him. Now I wonder why Disney ever bothered buying the Winnie the Pooh franchise. Like, they already have their own character acting out the only thing that ever happens in the Pooh cartoons. They could have saved, I don't know, what's the Winnie the Pooh franchise worth? A couple $100? Donald eats a sandwich and it also has a bee in it, and he swallows the bee and it destroys him from the inside, and we fade to black. That, my friends, was the whole short. On stage, Mickey is dressed like the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and I have feelings, and he bridges into The Worm Turns. Mickey is an old-timey scientist, or whatever they're called. He's mixing up potions. There's a fly trapped in a spider's web. Mickey puts a drop of his potion on the fly, and it grows big and muscular. The spider says, uh-oh, in a funny voice, and that's really funny, because the fly immediately just beats the spider like a drum. Then Mickey spies, is it Figaro? Minnie's cat? Early Figaro chasing a mouse. Mickey tosses some potion at the mouse, who grows gigantic and chases the cat, who bumps into Pluto, and Pluto chases the cat into the shed. Pluto starts shaking and ripping apart the shed, and all 9 lives float out of the cat, but Mickey pops his head in the shed and sprays the cat, and the cat grows big and chases Pluto. Now a disheveled animal service officer, played by Pete, chases Pluto and says he'll murder him, and chases him with a shotgun, saying he'll fill him full of lead. Oh my. He corners Pluto and says he's gonna blow his head off. Yeah, for real. Mickey tosses some potion on Pluto, who gets into roid rage mode and chases Pete, swings him around and throws him off a cliff into the dump. Pluto sniffs a fire hydrant, and then Mickey sprays the fire hydrant, and the fire hydrant comes to life and sprays Pluto against the wall to end the scene. Back on stage, Mickey asks Minnie if she remembers the time she burnt the cookies. Old-timey Mickey Mouse just doesn't have any cares left to care. It's Mickey's surprise party is the short. Minnie is baking cookies. Mickey shows up and gives her flowers. The cookies are burning. She pulls them out and they start going off like gunpowder, like the cookies, because why not? I wouldn't say Minnie overreacts, but she throws herself onto the couch and cries and wails hysterically and pounds her fist. Mickey bounces. He just gets up and leaves, leaving her on the couch, which probably wasn't the right call in this situation. But then he returns and he brought back a bunch of cookies and crackers, and like, they use real pictures of real products. Like, this is product placement for old-timey product placement. This is how it ends. Mickey says his mom used to buy these all the time, and we focus on the store-bought products. What is happening? Mickey and the seal is the next short. Mickey is at the zoo tossing fish to a seal. The seal wants more fish and crawls out and gets inside Mickey's picnic basket. Mickey doesn't notice and takes him home. Mickey leaves the room and the seal pops out and Pluto loses his mind. This is one of the few times it's actually justified. Like, there's a seal in your house. Weird shot of Mickey in a Hugh Hefner robe. The seal dives into the bathtub. Mickey also hops in and he tries scrubbing his back, but the seal keeps getting in between Mickey's back and the brush, and Mickey's really confused. Pluto tries to warn him and does a seal imitation, which is really funny. They drain the water and they see the seal. Mickey thinks it's hilarious. Pluto is jealous. I don't blame him. Anytime there's a new animal in the house, Mickey immediately turns on Pluto. Mickey says, I'll keep him. Just kidding. He takes him back to the zoo. But at the zoo, the seal tells his seal friends how amazing Mickey's house is. And when Mickey finally gets home, there's like a dozen seals jumping in his bathtub. That's really funny. Goofy asks Max if he ever told him about the time Mickey and him traveled on the open road. Max says, only 100 times. Undeterred, Goofy says, how about 101? We're into our next short. It's called Mickey's Trailer. I love old school Mickey. I don't know why. He has no value to me. I'm not familiar with any Mickey of old days, but he looks way cooler then than he does now, like Clubhouse Mickey. It's funny how updates are so hit and miss. Like, no one misses the old style of the original Simpsons, but I would love a new Disney movie with these old-looking Disney characters. Let's bring them back. Goofy attaches Mickey's trailer to his car and starts towing it. There's a lot happening, but also very little happening. Donald was asleep in the trailer when they left, so is he like Charlie from Always Sunny? He has complete high anxiety about traveling and leaving the city, so they have to trick him into leaving. At one point, Goofy gets out of his car and hops into the trailer with Donald, and everything just keeps going. Like, the car is still going with no one driving, pulling the trailer. They eat watermelon and corn on the cob. Goofy has his head sandwiched between two closet doors as they go over a bump. The trailer pops loose and flies on its own. Now the trailer is heading straight for a train. Everyone is panicking. Donald is praying, and the trailer misses the train twice. It coasts back and reattaches to the back of Goofy's car, and hook, I got you there safe and sound. Fade to black. Next, Pluto wants a cartoon. He's in. And we have Canine Caddy. Mickey is golfing. Pluto is, you guessed it, the caddy. Now, I don't play golf and I don't get golf, but this is pretty fun. Okay, you know what? I'll take another run at that. I'm a coffee addict, insomniac, so I don't get the whole Zen thing others do when they play golf, so I don't golf, but this is pretty awesome. There's all sorts of hijinks on the golf course, because of course there is. Mickey takes out an electric razor and shaves a path on the grass. Golf enthusiasts everywhere are just falling over with laughing fits. The audacity of that, can you believe it? Let's chip that in and take 2 strokes off my birdie swing, or whatever, I don't know the lingo. Chipmunk or Gopher, who isn't Chippendale, messes with Pluto. Maybe this was pre-Chippendale? Pluto has a conniving and murderous look in his eyes as he tries to kill this animal, and it's incredible to see how each character was toned down as the world of entertainment evolved to a gentler form of storytelling as the years went by. Of course, his murderous bloodlust ruins the golf course and ruins Mickey's game, but Mickey laughs and says, "Oh, you're just a mutt!" at the end. Fade to black. Mr. Mouse takes a trip is next, and we get Mickey and excited Pluto. They hop on a train, but no dogs allowed, so Mickey stuffs Pluto in a suitcase and tries again. Lunatic Pete is back. He's the train conductor. It's that weird stubble that makes him look like a crazy person. That's like, stubble is haunting. If you were to draw a hobo clown, that's the eating a can of beans over an open flame stubble you only see on Circus Vagrants. And now Pete. Pete is on to Mickey. Even though he doesn't see Pluto, he's no dummy. So he meows like a cat, and Pluto the idiot jumps out. Now it's on. Pete thinks Pluto ran behind a curtain, but it's actually a woman changing who hits him over the head with a newspaper. Pete finally finds them and is gonna, quote, "tear them to pieces." They run away as Pete brutalizes the bed they were on and ends up tangled in the bed springs. Horrifying, like he was actually going to tear a dog and a mouse to pieces. This conductor has a green light to physically assault those who break the train rules, apparently. Suddenly, Mickey is dressed as a Native American, and it's so weird how they constantly go back to these depictions for no reason. Like, these old cartoons were weirdly obsessed with Native American culture. Anytime they need a quick costume to like hide their real identity, they usually pop out wearing a headdress and the traditional full-on regalia. I don't know. Pluto and Mickey continue getting chased and they fall off the train right at their destination. The end, fade to black. And here we go. To end it, Walt tells us he has history with Mickey Mouse. He hopes we never forget that this was all started by a mouse. Roll Steamboat Willie. There he is, whistling and steering. What can you say? There's iconic, and then there's Steamboat Willie iconic. Like, there would not be any new Star Wars movies if not for this cartoon. There would not be any new Marvel movies without this cartoon. Think about that. Thanks, Steamboat Willie. Giant cat kicks him out and starts steering the ship. He chews tobacco. There's a cow on the dock and the steamboat stops. Mickey puts a harness on the cow and they lift into the steamboat with this big cow hook. Enter Minnie Mouse. She jumps up and down as the boat pulls away. She's frantic. Mickey swings the giant horse hook out, snags Minnie, and she lands in the boat with her dress up over her head. The hook comes to life, and as one would expect from a gentleman hook, he pulls her dress back down over her backside. Weird. The horse eats some sheet music and starts humming, and oh man, that song that is Forever Married with Steamboat Willie starts playing. I don't know what it's called, but it's stuck in my head. So they're rocking out to the song. At one point, Mickey gets bored of drumming and he plays a cat. Like, he puts his foot on the back of a cat and pulls the cat's tail to make it make different sound and pitches. Like, he's causing it pain, so it hits different notes. Why does that sound so familiar? Next, he squeezes the duck and plays it like a bagpipes. He pulls the tails of feeding baby pigs, and then he plays the cow's teeth like a steel drum. Giant tobacco chewing cat doesn't like that and makes Mickey peel potatoes. A parrot who looks like an early bird version of Jose from the Three Caballeros squawks at him from the window, and Mickey beans him with a potato to close the segment and to close the video. That was a wild ride, folks. That whole VHS was an absolute trip. Has someone made a documentary about how this company and just cartoons in general were forced to change over the decades? Like, I can't unsee Pete saying, "I'm gonna blow your head off." Like, just imagine turning on an episode of Paw Patrol these days and Mr. Humdinger says he's gonna blow Marshall's head off. Kids didn't even blink at that back in the day. They just went back to playing marbles or kerplunk or whatever they played back in the 30s. I don't know.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.